Hello everybody, my name is LaVaughn, author of the book Foundation of the Fire. In this particular video blog, we're going to go over the creation of this particular book and why this one was the very first book to be published. Actually, I should say self-published. When Roses Cry was actually the first book to be published out of all the books that I've written, but this one was the very first one to be self-published. So the question is, why did I want to make this the very first book that I want to be able to self-publish? Because in reality, When Roses Cry was actually the first book that I ultimately published, but that was actually through a particular different company at that time. But what really spearheaded this is when I saw that Amazon.com had something called CreateSpace.com. That's a great and wonderful website for any and all authors out there who would like to be able to get their books out there available to the public. Now they also do stuff for music as well, and even DVDs and videos. So any of your filmmakers and musicians, you might want to think about CreateSpace.com to be able to get your product out there, not only on their website, but also on an expanded distribution list to a variety of other places such as Barnes & Noble and many other companies who outlet who are able to sell things online. So, saying all that, I want to be able to make sure that I set the foundation, foundation, correct as far as what I want to be able to have for LaVaughn Publishing House. Now, this particular publishing house, LaVaughn, of course, LaVaughn Publishing House, will have a wide variety of books. Right now, we have a lot of inspirational, and we also have some fictional thrillers and that type of stuff as well. A lot of times, they also have some inspiring, something about them is inspirational, but not necessarily all of the books are like that. But you can always be able to learn something from everything. And saying all that, basically, what I want to be able to do is have a setup to say, all right, at least want to be able to start here. Because in the future, LaVaughn.com, LaVaughn Publishing House, I should say, will start producing a wide variety of other books, from fantasy, science fiction, to political thrillers. But I want to be able to make sure that I at least have a firm foundation in something that was religious. I myself am a religious person, so I want to be able to get that out there and be able to inspire other people. That is pretty much the basic reason why I really want to be able to make sure that the first book that was self-published was an inspirational book. And also, one of the things that was quite hard was actually trying to pick a subject for this book. It could have been on anyone, any character, any theme, any subject matter. So I was like, where can I do this first book? What focus should I actually have? It was tough, but when I start flipping through the words, start flipping through the Bible, I start noticing that fire, flames, heat, light kept showing up a lot. So I said, well, why not use that? And then, of course, start where we probably should. Just having a basic knowledge and relationship and information on God. That was it. It was like, let's just see what we can use and allow that to be the focal point, God himself. So by using that, that became the ultimate focus and everything in this particular book on saying, okay, we're going to use that, focus on God, and also being able to focus on God's will, service, doing that type of stuff for him. Basically, building a relationship with the Lord and being able to do what he has basically called you to do. So once having that kind of focus, one thing I definitely want to say is that I'm very thankful about is when the Lord basically pushed me to be able to get into doing teaching. Now, at a very young age, I've been able to do and have the opportunity to do sermons at various churches, and that was a blessing, and that was a great thing. And I figured, yeah, that was fine. I'll just stick right there. But the Lord was kept trying to push me to be able to do teaching and teach lessons and teach Bible studies. And I didn't think I was any good at it at all. But people said, hey, you're not so bad. You're pretty good. We're learning. And that's the idea. And that also helped with actually doing sermons. So by using those two backgrounds, doing sermons and also as well as teaching, whether it's at school or even at work, that was actually a really good time. I've been able to craft and pull both of that together to be able to formulate this particular book. So that's how we was able to actually formulate this book. So I was like, I know how to do fiction. I've been writing that ever since I was like in the 3rd grade. How in the world do you do nonfiction? But how do you do it in such a way that you're actually trying to teach people and also be entertaining, also be able to get them to be able to learn something as well. So being able to pull back on some of those backgrounds is how actually Foundation of Fire began to have some of that structure. Which is a big reason why probably when you read the book, you probably know it's like, okay, I understand where he's coming from. Here's the parts where I think he's doing a little sermonizing, and then here's the parts where I think he's actually backing down and he's teaching. I want to be able to blend the two so that way you're able to get the full experience and be able to really be able to. One last thing I did want to mention is that this particular book, at least the edition that is out there currently, is actually a combination of the workbook and the original Foundation of the Fire. That's the one thing about whenever you write books of this nature, sometimes ideas and thoughts come to you as the years progress. So at first it was just the Foundation of Fire. You just had the book, you had blank spaces for you to write, and then you also had some questions. Now, then later on came the workbook. And the workbook came and it was like, okay, he can have all these extra questions and activities and stuff like that. Then, actually wasn't until 2014 where the idea came, why not combine the workbook and the regular book, put them all in one, no different than, kind of similar to in the beginning, but it's a little different in that you're actually reading parts of the stuff, then you're actually doing the questions. But the idea was, why not combine the two? Now by combining the two, you have everything together, all in one house, all in one book. The expense and the price much less. Instead of you buying two different things, you just buy the one. So now whenever you buy Foundation of the Fire, you're getting everything in one. The regular book, as well as the workbook, all the questions, answers, plus everything that you want to read. Everything is all in one. Very, very happy about that. And because of that, now that will probably become the standard for any other inspirational books that will come up in the future. They'll probably just have something where you would read, and then also something else where you would have like a workbook like section. To me, that allows you to be able to not only just be able to read something, but also be able to start applying it to your lives, or be able to apply it, your reading, to some type of questions, answers, study, so that you're able to immerse yourself into what you're reading and be able to take it to heart later on. Well, that's all for now. Please definitely check out many other videos. Make sure to subscribe, and also thank you so much for your time. Please do definitely get out and get yourself a copy of the book, Foundation of the Fire. Like I said, now it has everything. But I just want to tell you just a little bit about why that was the first book that was self-published, and also a little bit about the background and writing creating it.